Oh my gosh, Becky. They took one of my very favorite couples camp and travel trailers and they made it a fifth wheel. This is like the ultimate traveler. Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd from Bish's RV. I actually came down to the Keystone display to get an early look at this one because I was so excited about it. If you're familiar with the 22 MLS Keystone Cougar travel trailer, they basically adopted that into a fifth wheel, and this thing is a monster traveling unit, everybody. So it has front to back to front travel and access. You are nap, crap, and snack-tastic. You can get to the fridge, you can get to the sink, the bedroom, the bathroom. Everything is functional in transit on this one. It just gets better when you get there. Now, they did need to move the bathroom as compared to that 22 MLS travel trailer upstairs because I don't think people like going up and down stairs a lot, in a fifth wheel to use the bathroom at night. But it works because what it did is they shifted and expanded the kitchen, and they actually have the same giant pantry in this they have in the big 36-foot 316 Cougar. This thing is awesome. You've got a large outside storage compartment. We're looking at it today in the 400i Solar Flex package, one of the more advanced things. This is 0 to 110 degree rated. Now standard Goodyear tires, 40,000 BTU tankless on-demand water heaters, so you can take back-to-back hot showers, or you can take a hot shower while someone's cooking up a storm in the kitchen. This has the factory towing package on the back, so if you want a smaller rig, but maybe you want to pull a little cargo thing or a bass boat or something behind you, you got the ability to do that here. So they've also revised the front closet in this one. They've changed up the front storage wardrobe closet in this on all of these Cougar quote half-ton series, so that you can get to the dresser drawers now and still be able to hang something tall. They've actually increased the height of the hanging storage without really losing any of the dresser capacity. They just keep getting better. Cougar is really quickly becoming one of my very favorite brands of RVs out there. Brand new floor plan. This is still technically in the second stage of prototypes. It's not fully a production unit. I'm going to mention a couple little things that they might change, and as always, I welcome any feedback you're willing to offer. Let us know what you like, what you dislike, what you change, or if you love it, and hit subscribe if you're new with us. Let's get rolling. And I'll be very curious to know what you folks think about this one, because personally, I think this is just an absolute hit. And technically, this is prototype number 2, the final finished production model. Sounds like we'll be even a little bit better, although I'm not unhappy with anything that I see right now. Again, as compared to the 22 MLS travel trailer, which had a bathroom in this back corner, they moved that to the upper deck, and what that created was just a ton more kitchen counter and cabinet space. And when is more storage ever the wrong answer? And one of the things to consider is that with rear kitchens, with most of your storage being behind the axles, that does mean that a lot of the stuff in your cabinets bounces around. But also consider the fact that this is a shorter floor plan. It does not have a huge amount of tail hanging out over those axles, so that shouldn't be too much of a factor. Now, Cougar is one of the only brands building anything like this, especially in travel trailers, that offers a freestanding table right here. And one of the things I'm kind of curious about, what if it didn't have a dinette? What if it had no dinette at all? And what if instead, have you ever seen a Riverstone fifth wheel that has a desk or a fireplace or something, like a power televator down there instead of a TV up here? I don't see them moving the TV, but what if it had a desk swaption? How much would you like that? Now, just to kind of complete the 360 here for you, since I've already, kind of looked around this one time, that forward wall right there, that whole pantry arrangement is the exact same thing that you find in a big full cat Cougar 316, which is a triple slide with a bed slide. And that little countertop over there is sized to fit a Keurig machine. And that is an inverter prepped outlet over there and some USB plugs to help operate that. We'll talk more about all that as we go through the video here. Now they're using floor vented heating because they want to make sure that they can effectively heat the RV when it is super cold. But they found these new little covers right here. The goal was to make something that was a little more robust if you step on it. But the funny thing is, what they accidentally found is that those things promote additional airflow into the RV. So the heating system is now better than it ever was, which I think is pretty cool. Did you notice, by the way, I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to sit down at the theater seat. When you're sitting down here, look at all the window coverage. I'm tall, so I hold the camera high. But when you're sitting down, all of the windows are at head level. It's fantastic. And as long as I'm down here, notice in that corner there are some power outlets up under that overhead cabinet right there, because that is one of the hiccups of laminated walls. It can be sometimes a little tricky to figure out where are you going to put power outlets and all that sort of thing. The refrigerator that I apparently forgot to close is a 12-volt DC compressor fridge by default. You can go down to a little bit smaller gas-electric two-way fridge, an 8 cubic foot if you're so inclined. You have a choice between theater seat or hide-a-bed. So like, you know, theater seat, hide-a-bed, which refrigerator, which solar package, which dinette would you prefer in one of these? I'd love to know, what do you think is the best way to build one? But did you check also, this is a floor flush slide. So you can literally just walk right up to that refrigerator. You don't have to feel like you're, like standing at the edge of a cliff trying to do your kitchen stuff, especially since the kitchen's not in a slide out whatsoever. By the way, one of my favorite features on these with the dinette, you also get this little, like you could keep your dog dishes, your pet dishes or something like that down there, or you could just use it like a shoe garage under that bench. Now, both benches are storage. This can fold down into a sleeper, but being in a dealer display today, I'm trying to minimize my time in here, not hold everybody up. So with that, let's start cracking open all the storage here and taking a look around this sucker. And that is one of the things this does surprisingly well. For such a small RV, it brings in a just metric ton of storage space on this. And I love the L shape of that peninsula counter, adding all those drawers down to the floor. Big space for wastebasket, full drawer below the oven, just no space gone to waste in here. Now you might notice you've got the day-night, or the night blackout roller shades on that as well. And again, you've got that big pantry space over here on the wall. So, like, when you look at the primary kitchen, you're like, there's not much of a pantry. When you do need to start digging stuff out, or even a bag of chips or whatnot, you've got plenty of room in that. I'm actually, like, the kind of person, I pack very minimally. I will never say there's too much storage in this RV. I will say there's more storage in this than I personally need when I go camping. You may notice some nice details, too, like there's dimmer switch lighting above that theater seat, and Cougar, based on your input, got the privacy shade put in the door, and based on your input, they're actually getting the supplier to flip it in very near future, by the way. So the shade pulls from the bottom up. But because the manufacturer wants everything consistent, your feedback will cause that to be the case. Not just in Cougars, but in basically every brand. I think what you folks have done, personally, I think that is pretty cool. You may notice a little bit of a costume change. I was getting a little warm. I had to peel off a couple layers. Anyway, moving upstairs here. Your command panels and stuff, they're located up where little kids aren't going to get to them, but they're still easily accessed by you. Now, one of the cool things is with the in command, you can turn all the lights off here, but back in the living kitchen area and up in the bedroom, there's still just a light switch where you can just flick all the switches on. You don't have to go walking up and down to get to this thing, and you don't have to bust out your phone and Bluetooth to it every time you just want to turn the lights off. And pardon my brevity a little bit as we step upstairs here. There's been about 4 people who have yanked on the entry door, and again, I feel badly holding them up. I don't care that they don't work for my dealership, I don't want to be that person. So I'm going to kind of cruise through this upper deck a little more quickly, but if you've seen a Cougar fifth wheel upper deck, you kind of get the idea. Now, you've got great fluffy friendly space around that porcelain foot flush stool. I prefer a towel bar over hooks. Kind of curious your preference. And they're including storage on the door, which is nice. But the headroom in the shower up here is also fantastic. That's something they do very good. The entire upper deck will be that exact same height that we're looking at right there. Also, as we work our way down, you see that you do have a good-sized little kind of, I don't know, bench, seat, corner bench, whatever, to be able to, sit down to bathe or shave your legs or something like that. Got some drawer storage down to the floorage over here in the bathroom, and you can kind of see, because they have this one gussied up a little bit, that, a little spot there for like a toothbrush holder or whatnot. It's got just enough space. I call that a Meghan Trainor bathroom. All the right junk in all the right places. Now, moving up front here, these will be 50 amp. They are a 15,000 BTU single air by default, but as you're seeing, they are prepped and ready for the second air, always. And you could get that installed straight from the factory. I can't remember if I've talked about inverter prepped outlets or not, but both outlets on either side of the headboard right there, those are inverter prepped. So if you're not plugged into park power or have a generator, you could run those off your battery, although you are taxing your battery more heavily when you do that. You've also got USB plugs on both sides, which I think is very cool. And I'm very interested to know your thoughts on this. All of your Cougar closet slides will change over. They used to be 3 mirror doors with dresser drawers down below. But if you look at this, they moved the dresser drawers to the side, and that created a taller hanging storage space so that your stuff doesn't, slack on the floor, doesn't look all wrinkly all the time. Not to mention the fact that you've still got the easy lift storage below the bed, which is packed full of God knows what show display stuff here, but it fit very easily. And you've got a big window over here on the camp side of the RV off the bedroom. So if you want some extra light in here, you got it. Oh, it has that same blackout privacy shade there as well. And as long as I'm hooked up to their power, I'm going to steal it and we're going to do some road mode. As you see, the closet slide comes right up to the bed, but the bed remains fully functional in transit. And with the hallway right over here on the bathroom side, we are both nap and craptastic in our traveling access. But as I kind of suspected, when you close the slide on this one, it remains easily accessible and functional for the critical kitchen components. Now, notice that if you do want to stop and have a sandwich, since the dinette's not in the slide, no question, you can sit down, you can have a bite to eat there. You can get to your drawer storage, the majority of your cabinet space, your sink, and of course, you can walk right through and get to that refrigerator. For travel and function, guys, I give this thing a 10 out of 10 at least. Okay, so I am down here. It is a live dealer display. I am currently recording in the Keystone 23 preview display here at the RV Hall of Fame. So there might be people who walk in front of the camera. I'm kind of waving them on. I'm telling them it's okay to go. Don't fault those folks. They're not being rude. I'm trying to be respectful of the fact that they have time, that they're pouring into this too. Now, before we get too far along, let's talk towing. This thing is an awesome size for towing and going. It's a good weight for moving around. The thing that throws a lot of people, though, and I will die on this hill 1,000% of the time, this is called Cougar Half Ton. That is the name of the series. I don't necessarily recommend that as a, that's not a generalized towing recommendation to me. Due to the hitch weight on this RV, I do feel that it puts a little bit more demand than most half-ton vehicles can handle, not against their towing capacity. A lot of half-tons tow like mules, their payload capacity. If you don't know the difference, towing is like if you took a backpack and filled it full of bricks and then set that backpack in a radio flyer wagon, that's towing. Now, if you put the backpack on your back and walked around with it, that is payload. That's a key difference. Big pass-through compartment down here, and totally just unobstructed, nothing in the way. They've gone away from that, carpeted kind of flooring stuff here in the pass-through. Word is they will be adopting little ABS side buckets over here, plastic instead of that carpety felted stuff. I would like to see that. I'm asking your 2 cents though. What's your opinion there? Now, looking at the 400i Solar Flex package, you can see over here you upgrade to a 30 amp Victron MPPT charge controller, and up top there, that is actually our inverter, which is live powering any of these outlets that we see marked with the little, inverted outlet sticker. It's not too much of a mystery. Now we're, again, kind of tucked into this display here, so I can't walk you fully around the other side, but giving you a look at the little outdoor compartment right there, you can see that you've got that fully enclosed docking center. Again, Cougars are and have been 0 to 110 degree rated for, 100, for several seasons now. Now, the stable steps, obviously a requirement on this floor plan, considering they go right over the tires, but we've got Goodyear Endurance radial standard on these. It is prepped and ready for TPMS, and you may have noticed the More-Ride shock dampening suspension package down there with the More-Ride, Road Armor, pardon me. Sorry, I got my names mixed up. I've looked at so many RVs in this display today. Good gravy. The fact is, what I like about that system is it has shock dampening above and below. Now, one of the only hiccups on this model, it doesn't have the world's biggest awning. I don't think it's smaller than the 22 MLS travel trailer awning, but it's not as big. Like when you think fifth wheel, you think bigger stuff, I love what they did here, though. Under the kitchen countertop, there's that L-shaped counter. There's a chunk of space that you can't easily access inside. So they said, what if it didn't suck? And they opened it up outside. So they gave us this little outdoor mini kitchen. But did you notice how that cooktop extends out so that if you are cooking on that griddle, you can still reach your arm around it and get yourself a delightful Pabst Blue Ribbon? Perhaps. Oh, Oh, I have never found the need myself to sink to that level. Now, no offense to anyone who prefers the a taste of a Pabst Blue Ribbon. That one is just not my thing. It kind of takes me back to feeling like my grandparents or grandfathers especially. Pull tabs and salt the beer. Holy Lord, that is some old school stuff. Now, looking up top here at the roof real quick, giving you a look around there. Again, we're looking at the Solar Flex 400 package, which has 2 of those 200-watt panels as compared to just a single one. Overall, I do think Keystone as a whole is still really the leader in factory solar solutions, although there are a few manufacturers who are coming out of the weeds trying to give them a run for their money. And of course, the new look on this thing, it's got a good look. Oh, yeah, one other thing here. I may or may not be wearing any pants. Now, I kind of realized right now, I've sort of approached this whole video assuming that you knew what a 22 MLS travel trailer was. If you don't, I'll leave you a link to that one in the video description. Now, in terms of, I always like to give you some similar options too. Rockwood and Flagstaff do a pair of really good sub 30-foot travelers like this. And I think this one absolutely gives them a run for their money. I'm making the prediction now, 1 year from now, that will be the best-selling Cougar couples camper out there in the fifth wheel segment that they build. I probably could have said that a little more smoothly, but nailing it the first time, well, that ain't exactly on brand for Uncle Josh. Anyway, I love this thing. This is exciting. Let me know what you think. And until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.